Diffuser down closet.
Show me.
Kids are foul. Yo, just.
And they drop down randomly.
I got the streets so loud, you know I can't stop. No, I can't stop. No, I can't stop. I got the streets so loud, you know I can't stop. No, I can't stop. No, I can't stop. I got the streets so loud, you know I can't stop. No, I can't stop. No, I can't stop. I got the streets so loud, you know I can't stop. No, I can't stop. No, I can't stop. So loud, you know I can't stop. No, I can't stop. No, I can't stop.
You can probably just go for plan. Nice. Connector.
He's still stuck there. That's above you after you kill this guy.
Yep, you got him. Alright, Men's fireplace. He's halfway up now. Halfway up, like. No.
Bathroom dead. I'm in bathroom.
I'm gonna keep holding point.
Captain dead.
Main.
Oh my god, one hatch.
Two connecting.
Main stairs. Bottom main.
What?
See Mort find one. But Mort communication knowing Mamba's there, taking.
One player left, and he gets taken out to the head. I love Mort. Get an overhead view here of library. You can see nobody directly in library. Oh, big frag time. Boomin kills Servant. I love Mort kills Mamba. And C4 goes out and a down on the toaster. Boomin taking Zajoc though as he jumps back to Boomin. But the jump out from I love Mort.
I'm gonna come fire them.
Yes.
They're coming black side. Wow.
Sludged. Jacko, or that's that.
Back to Midwest R6. My name is Ali Austin.
I am Glitch. I'm joined with Kevin with a.
Fading slowly, just our bodies laying side by side.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Midwest R6. We are here in the round of 32 to start off our playoffs.
Welcome into our first week of our first opening contest between these two teams.
This emptiness is more than I can bear. Would you leave it all behind me?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have your victors in a sweeping victory as we now conclude the grand finals. Davenport University are your champions.
He's gonna be able to get.
Here's one.
He needs to get a second. He gets it. Oh, the defuse isn't in.
It doesn't look like the Monty's going to clear him. Asian Rises one to get one, and he gets the second.
Customs, shackle.
Shackle dead.
Nice.
Just watch him about lobby. Walked in lobby. Heard. He's coming workshop door. Behind you. Check. Yep. Workshop door.
Fucking goal!
I kill planner.
Yes. They connect up their swing black side.
What was your guys' mindset moving into the match?
Pretty casual and chill. Most of us were may have been taking shots. I don't know if I can say that or not, but
Wow.
What kind of shots?
Diffuser down closet. Show me. Kids are foul. Yo, just
Below manages to get in, and they drop down randomly.
Kids are foul. Kids are foul.
You just.
Below and manages to get in. And they drop down randomly.
I got the streets so loud, no I can't stop, no I can't stop, no I can't stop. I got the streets so loud, no I can't stop, no I can't stop, no I can't stop. I got the streets so loud, no I can't stop, no I can't stop, no I can't stop. I got the streets so loud, no I can't stop, no I can't stop, no I can't stop. So loud, no I can't stop, no I can't stop. No I can't stop.
All right, hello everybody, and welcome to Midwest R6. Did you guys miss me? What am I saying? You definitely missed me. But you know who else is here with me, who is the absolute GOAT, ladies and gentlemen? I'm here with Micah. Micah, I said your name, right?
Yeah,
right?
you said it correctly. Yes.
Yeah, I'm here
Thank
with
you.
Micah. How are we doing today? Tonight we've got IUPUI versus Ohio State University. We know and love Ohio State University. And actually, I think IUPUI is a little new, if I'm not mistaken. That name does not ring a bell. What about for you, Mike? What do you think so far?
The names don't ring a bell, but the two players on IUPUI do ring a bell, in fact, to me personally. We have Natural, and I'm pretty sure the other one was Wrath. I'm sorry, Wrath. So,
Yeah.
Natural and Wrath.
Gotcha. No, that's good. That's good to know. Two players that we might have a little bit more information on, but well, I may not know IUPUI too well from, you know, my personal experience with casting, but do you know something that I know very well? It reads, first kill, watch out for tonight's first kill, presented by Blue Light. Blue Light helps gamers enhance their performance while protecting their vision. Their specialized glasses protect eyes from blue light risk while maintaining necessary screen time and display preferences, ensuring both eye health and optimal gaming. Top 5. Ready to show off your insane or clumsy highlights from the Midwest R6 match? Send them to @MidwestR6 on Twitter and Discord to potentially be featured. And here are some of our top 5 from the last match up that we have casted. Let's take a look at those, shall we?
Archive rush. Yep.
PQ head level. Still here. Peeking you.
Dead.
Good.
I got everything on the wall. You can open the wall now.
Kai dead kitchen. Kai dead kitchen.
Yeah, Solarium. No, West Wing.
Nitro.
You can get it though. You can get it.
Oh, my bad, well, my.
Okay, we have a dog.
Yeah, wait, we're.
Audio, like, bottom, very bottom right.
I'm just chilling.
We don't have anything we're really looking at white specifically.
What? Where did I get shot from? Good night. That's an ace, baby.
All right, and we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Got some pretty good clips. I really like the Cade clip from Trine, being able to just pistol whip all those players on the second floor. So disrespectful, just being able to get away with that and get so much impact out of it. But, of course, if you want to submit some of your own clips, again, send them over to @MidwestR6 on Twitter and Discord, and they might be featured for the next matchup. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the roster lineup. Micah, take it away.
All right, first featuring IUPUI Esports, we've got Wrath.Reven, we've got Natural.Slate, Delusion, Celtic Gravity, and Ballajack72. Oh boy, now this is a lineup that I would fear. And now, the MVP obviously being Wrath last week, playing Ying with 2.54 KD, 71 rating. I think the quote obviously being more the underdogs against Tosu Scarlet. Now featuring the opposing lineup with the Ohio State Scarlets lineup featuring Desan, Mustard, Arno, Servant, and Oracular. The MVP of the Ohio State Scarlet is, in fact, Desan with a 1.18 KD, a 46.6 rating, and a 26% survival rate with 20 kills last week. Their quote being, try to win by, Captain and RNO. Good motto.
That's all you can really try to do, honestly. But I do want to kind of point out, IUPUI's quote, which I found a little bit funny. We're the underdogs. Stats kind of disagree. I hate to be that person, but stats kind of disagree there. Placements weren't too forgiving for Ohio State University, but we'll see whether or not that actually remains to be the case for this upcoming matchup. But we've got our map bans in place, and it looks like we will be playing on Clubhouse, Chalet, and Border. 2 standard picks, but Border being a little bit of a toss-up. I mean, that's a map that some teams are quite comfortable with playing, others not so much. It really comes down to those cross plays. But tell me, Mike, what are you thinking about these map bans? I'm usually not the biggest fan of seeing Clubhouse, and a little decreasingly so with Chalet due to its prominence. But what about maybe Border? What are your thoughts here?
So personally, Border has always been a good map for me. I've always liked Border. I do think it is a toss-up. It's whoever gains momentum first on Border is whoever's going to take it away, in my opinion. Border is all about momentum. If you can keep it, then you're good.
I can agree to that. It's because, especially on attack, because it's really hard to kind of finagle those crossfires to cut out players. And once you have enough forward pressure that they're forced to run into those crossfires and cut them off from there, if you're able to do that and successfully win and get a successful execute, that pretty much is the dictating point in which, there's no turning back on for defense. It's going to get ugly from there on out. And often we see that end up being the case where it's really rough for them, the defenders, once that first round's picked up, because you just got to figure out what's their rotation cycle? Because regardless of what floor you're on, the rotation cycle is going to be quite similar, and that's just due to the limitations and the way the map is laid out. And if you're going to change your rotation pathing, you pretty much have to change everything about how you're going to set up in order to enable that style. And a lot of these teams can't really afford to have that many different setups for their rotational pathing. And that creates that kind of situation in which, you know, one attack round, you know the rotation, you know how to cut them off, where to cut them off, what are their critical points of movement. And you start getting lurkers to take early picks and things like that. That's where, you know, really start to fall apart for the defense. So I think we do get to a decider, which I suspect will be very likely considering the fact that we have two very standardized maps for the first two. Border will be quite an interesting pick, but I'm still kind of curious whether or not we're going to see much of strats, or it might be a bit more, you know, of a default kind of play style just because we're so early in the season.
Yeah, looking at Border, it feels almost like for defense. Personally, I've always realized that trades worked really well with Border defense. I will say this now: I've baited my teammates and won the round because I baited it, getting a 1v2 situation easy. But I do notice that character-wise, Mira is very prominent on this map.
Oh, she
If
always
there
has
is a
been.
Mira, if you have Mira on this map, you're going to win. In my opinion, your win percentage jumps up to at least 60%, 70% winning.
Yeah, and that's usually the rule of thumb. The only thing you got to keep in mind, though, is there's also that kind of factor of how do you play around the utility as well, because now that Kali charges, I believe, and Ash charges can break the Mira, there's that extra level of tension, and Kali is still to an extent a viable op on this map, and having, you know, Kali watching runouts or Ash on the front, getting rid of those Miras, that can create for a lot of problems, especially, you know, Kali sending out lances to drain that utility. So it's a lot more contestable than it used to be, but it's still a very strong point. It really just depends on how seated in you are, that I think is going to dictate what level of impact Mira has. The default armory Mira, I'm not too confident on the level of impact that will have. But if you've got a Mira like deep in like maybe workshop, bathroom teller, somewhere like that, I could expect that to have substantial impact because of how in the dirt you have to be dealing with roamers just to even be in that position to try to take that out. And that's not even accounting for all the different corridors that you can get swung from while trying to get that one piece of utility out of the way. So that's kind of where Mira becomes a bit more questionable in that regard, but otherwise still, yeah, she's always going to be, you know, one of those pieces of utility that grabs your attention like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's always going to be at the forefront.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of expect her to be banned the moment that bans are even viable. Like, I don't expect to see her be played. She won't be allowed.
No, I wouldn't expect that. It's at this point, it's kind of, you know, common for defense setups to be adjusted around not having a Mira, and so it's like, if I can't have it, neither can you, and someone's gonna ban Mira at some point. And for higher tier teams, they have that flexibility, you know, as they progress down in the league. But for the beginning, you know, just trying to get, you know, your points up as much as you can, not really trying to go for those extreme, you know, like 7-0 score lines, you might as well just ban it just to keep it a little bit closer, because you really don't need to be pulling out 7-0s and all this other crazy stuff. In fact, it's, you know, I mean, like, if you're not properly prepared, it might just be you ending up getting 0-7 instead. And that's the kind of stuff that gets you knocked out of the league early on, is not being able to pick up rounds. So those safe plays we can expect to see very frequently. And that's, again, another reason why I say we will very likely move on to Decider Border, because of how every round point matters.
Yeah, I mean, thinking about it, it looks like it's going to be the case. I mean, I would safely bet on that happening.
Oh yeah, no, I would as well. But let's talk about Chalet a little bit. I know that the first floor sites can be a bit more intricate when it comes to, you know, establishing verticality, and that transition into the sites can be a very awkward point for a lot of more inexperienced teams when it comes to attacking. So do we think that, now that Chalet's been played so much, first floor might be a little bit more streamlined? Maybe we might not see that as much, or what changes do you think are going to be occurring from this season in comparison to last season for how Chalet will be played on the first floor sites? Because that's key point in winning that map, honestly, because second floor and basement are kind of gimmies. Well, maybe not so much second floor, unless you really screw up.
I think with first floor, it's going to be generally streamlined. I don't think there's going to be much changes made. I think defensive-wise, there might be a few operators swapped out. I mean, I again, the Mira pick for Chalet first floor is almost necessary, so banning her is going to probably happen. But looking at it, I don't think a lot will change. I think it's really going to just be the same, like, thinking about it.
Yeah, and that's usually the thing that kind of happens is, unless, Pro League comes out with some revolutionary way of holding some fundamental that was missing, that pretty much, turnkeys it into a lock and hold for defense, as, like, towards the very beginning of Siege's history when, bandit tricking and all that, came to be, basement was like one of those things that can be really hard to hold. But once that was like, really streamlined, it's like now every basement site, unless they get reworked or there's some other avenue, getting that wall, it can take up a lot of time, and it can be, a nightmare if that's locked down. And I mean, we've had some shifts, with some of the new ops that have came out to, kind of change that dynamic of getting that wall open quite a bit. But I mean, something revolutionary like that, I think, would need to be introduced for Chalet first floor in order for it to, really be a turnkey, either for defense or attack. Otherwise, it's still going to be, very much up to what each independent team comes up with and how well they know their roles for those setups.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the basement hold and getting the wall open, we now have the Tuberau change, which is a crazy change. I mean, it's...
What do they do to Tuberau?
Well, the patch notes a few while ago, they changed how the electricals work now. I think they had a little bit of a delayed reactivation. And they obviously reduced one of his canisters. But even with that, the bandit tricking capabilities is still there, and it's much more much more powerful as a bandit tricker. You can't really Cade trick anymore with Tuberau, but bandit tricking will be much easier to do.
Yeah, I think the important thing when it comes to Tuberau is that's something that you want to be using, from how I'm understanding it so far, is when it comes to like stall strats, like you have Goyos, you have your slows. When you're using Tuberau on a basement site, the goal is still not to prevent the wall of getting open, right? You're going to run out of those charges. Vertical is going to be established. If you have a good vertical hold and you've got a lot of utility down by basement, to hold off the actual execute, I think the strength is going to be the fact that it can bring it down to the golden 30-second, or timer point at which, you can start popping Goyos and whatnot, and there's just no option, and every fight is basically isolated, and you can adjust your cross angles pretty much and stronghold it, put your Goyo on main stairs, and then hold towards, blue hall, lock up that angle, watching that through the rotate, watching that through wine, or Goyo towards blue stairs and focus on main, focus on back wine. That's where I would see Tuberau having the most prevalent and honestly the highest impact if we do end up seeing him on basement.
I mean, yeah, he's just such a strong character. Like, if you just sit down and look at his capabilities, it's just kind of eye-opening looking at it. Like, taking off what you said, like the Goyos, like, it just adds so, like, another variable that you have to take into account when attacking. Like, you need to establish your foundations quickly. You need to attack fast to make sure Tuberau can't catch you. Like, the freezing you and being able to see you underneath, and also being able to nitro you. I mean, yeah, you probably won't use that as often, but I mean, you have Ram, for example. That stops a Ram. You can get rid of it very easily.
Yeah, No, it's very strong. And the other thing, when it comes to two brow, and this kind of comes into the swinger be swung meta that I've talked about quite extensively when it comes to the state of competitive siege. The one thing that two brow kind of breaks, and I think this is where his play is so high, is when it comes to gunfighting. Right, fundamentally, if you're holding close, someone's wide swinging you, you want to re-peek. That's what you want. You want to re-peek that because you're gonna show up sooner than they will. That's how you take that fight, right? Tuberau creates a unique situation for a swinging attacker where they're going to see you even slower, and there's not it. So when it comes to movement, obviously, right? There is a range of possibilities of where that person could be depending on how much time has elapsed, whether it's rotating or whether it's still holding close or an off angle or still continuing to wide swing or possibly counter strafing, backing up. But with two brow, not only does it slow that player down, but it also decreases that range of where that person could be, and that just shuts down shuts the margin of error down dramatically, which really helps with dealing with that situation of taking a gunfight you don't want. And it also gives you a getaway. If you're fearing that you're gonna lose that fight, that fast deployability, throw that down, get out before they can commit and fully cut you off, or really swing you through whatever choke point you're dealing with. And I think that's kind of like the hidden star point of Tuberel beyond just contesting the basement wall.
Tuberel, he's just he adapts well to any playstyle. He's one of those operators. He's just a very well-rounded character for playstyles. And I mean, there's a few out there. I'm not sure if I'm not really thinking about it, but Tuberel, in my mind, is the perfect character for fitting any playstyle. I mean, you have the MPX, you have the DMR, whatever you want to use. I'm personally an MPX user because I want to be able to swing you with 30 rounds. And it just feels like if you don't even want to use Tuberel for those instances, you can even use them for roam support. Like, for example, we have a solo roaming trophy, for example. You can freeze trophy window, or you can freeze off certain windows and walls for Solus.
Yep, absolutely. And that's the biggest key, or another big key that you kind of mentioned, is that ability to break up those pinches. Dealing with pinches is like one of the biggest skill sets that you need to learn. And some pinches, right? You take a pick, you catch someone off guard. Sometimes, in order to get that vital pick, you're gonna be in a position that you are not gonna be able to get out of. Best case scenario, you take one, you get immediately refragged. Tuberel provides an exception to where you can take two 1v1s instead of a 2v1, and then taking one in that instant, that you get double swung, right? So it does make things a little bit better in that regard. Getting the that get out of jail card. It's kind of like, and I know this is Siege obviously, but it's kind of like in Valorant, right? You've got like ops like Chamber or Jet who have that get out of jail free card when opping. It's kind of the same thing with Tuberel. You throw one of those devices down, and you take the fight on whoever's not slowed down, and you either take that fight or you just get out. It's a get out of jail free card is what I would like to call it. But before we move on to this matchup, it does look like we're having some difficulty getting players into the lobby. So we're going to go ahead and call a quick tech break. We'll be right back in about 5 to 10 minutes. And once all the players are, settled and ready to go, we'll get right into the match. We'll be right back, folks.
Diffuser down closet. Trophy.
Get some power, get some power.
Yo, just.
Below manages to get in, and they drop down randomly.
He's gonna catch one. He's gonna try to push the plant, taking another. However, the plant's going down, but
I got the streets so loud, no I can't stop, no I can't stop, no I can't stop. I got the streets so loud, no I can't stop, no I can't stop, no I can't stop. So loud, no I can't stop, no I can't stop.
Diffuser down closet. Trophy.
Get some power, get some power.
Yo, just.
Below manages to get in, and they drop down randomly.
I got the streets so loud, no I can't stop, no I can't stop, no I can't stop. I got the streets so loud, no I can't stop, no I can't stop, no I can't stop. I got the streets so loud, no I can't stop, no I can't stop, no I can't stop. I got the streets so loud, no I can't stop, no I can't stop, no I can't stop. So loud, no I can't stop, no I can't stop.
All right.
Yep, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the wait. We just had to get one more player in. Does look like that player is now in. So we will be now starting off on Clubhouse. I'm trying to think of how I can joke that with, like, you know, Oregon Borgen, like, you know, something similar, but I got nothing. You got anything, Mike? Ooh.
Ooh,
whatever.
wow, that's distracting. No, I can't really think of anything. Then again, I'm not really much of a jokes guy. I kind of just laugh at other people's jokes.
Club boring? No, that's not funny. That's just lazy. I can do better than that.
Oh, come on.
Looks like we will have a Dekebi ban here. And
The
we've
Thermite
seen
ban
a lot
is
of
interesting.
Yeah, we do see a lot of Dekebi bans. Last season, she was quite prevalent when it comes to bans, because you got to remember that with everything being so volatile when it comes to gunfighting, you really do want to eliminate those errors as much as possible, and operators like Dekebi are really useful for that. But you know, with her ban, that's gonna make things very gun heavy. And that does make sense with Clubhouse, with the way that rotations are, how it's a lot of corridors. There's not a lot of hiding. So it does, you know, make sense. You want to ban someone like that to kind of help Valkyrie as well. This is just going to allow for, you know, a little bit more play when it comes to, you know, both attackers and defenders hiding. This is going to give opening for lurkers like Nook or Knock or, you know, Knock, who's there.
And Vigil, for example.
Yeah. Any of those type of ops, yeah, Cav. Absolutely. Looks like we will be starting off on basement. I typically don't like starting sites on, you know, the gimmies on defense, but that's just me. I know it just really depends on the team's confidence, and I don't know if that's a confidence thing or maybe just a preference, but we will be starting off on basement.
I mean, yeah, looking at it, I have a feeling they need to get momentum fast, and this is a way to get it. You need to do your rounds that you win on, so you can have the confidence to start winning more. You can, like, as the term is, snowballing. You can snowball into more wins, or more round wins. Because that's ultimately the goal, is you obviously want to win. But yeah, I'm not sure about this gimme in particular. But,
yeah. Attackers must locate and defuse the bomb. That is kind of the thing, isn't it? You know, especially when you have a delay like we just had, you know, that can wear off some of that warm. Oh my gosh, Servant with a very, very aggressive peek here, but it doesn't look like anyone's going that way. All going for warehouse. Oh, wait. He got one cross. He got one cross from Natural. Is she gonna get spotted? Oh, there's the first pick, ladies and gentlemen. Natural to take Servant. Very early pick. Called out that spawn peek. Yeah, very clean
Getting
shot.
the kill on Warden as Ying gets rid of the whole, like, scared. Like,
yeah, that was a very high stakes pick early on. You know what I mean? Like, as far as like a match made in hell, having, you know, Ying versus Warden, either team, if one of them lost a player, that was full. And unfortunately for Ohio State, they're the ones who lost their Warden rather than, you know, IUPUI losing Ying. So that's going to help with the basement execute a lot. You do see Ying very often. We do have a bit of a roam presence from Mustard sitting up on top. Doesn't look like we're seeing much of a top down from IUPUI. That could be an opportunity for Mustard to abuse that as he does start to slowly creep his way down main stairs, but whether we see someone, just a matter of how aggressive he wants to play this, there is an opportunity spot. The one he does pop one is able to take Natural. That's going to be another player. They know that he's over by central stairs, and there's the refrag, and a little bit too greedy there, Mustard, but that is going to put IUPUI still at a one-person advantage for the trade.
I think realistically what he should have done here is once he got that Ying pick, he should have rotated up towards Logi and held the hatch for kitchen with his impacts and obviously shooting the Habana pellets. Because at that point, your goal is to just waste time once you get your pick. Waste as much time as possible because they know you're there and they know that they can't get the hatch with you there.
Yeah, and that Ying Candela drop is very, very strong. But I mean, they do have that Ying off the board. That was that, you know, return that was very much needed. So even though it's unfortunate for Mustard to go down, to still continue to be at a disadvantage, that is a very much needed pick because they have no flashes left in their kit, no grenades. They're not going to really have a way to force their way in. They're going to have to force these gunfights. They do have Capital Celtic still with his fire bolts, which could help to offset some of these players, but you got to keep in mind that Desan is still on the board with those Wamai discs, and that is going to be able to cover him from that firebolt. We will see that bolt go off. Oracular going to take a little bit of damage. Nitro goes off. Not going to be able to catch anyone here. 20 seconds remaining. Execute is going to have to start soon. Rat's going to start to make his push in. Gets caught out by Rhino. With Desan going to take another, taking a double kill. It's now up to Celtic, who gets caught in the hole for OSU Scarlet to take the first round.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't really shock me. Again, that heat of the moment, I'm going to be honest. Tosu's good at holding heat of the moment, like, rounds like that. They do shine with that.
Yeah, they did that really well. There was a good hold, you know, not allowing them to have that opening to kind of walk in. But, I mean, they just didn't have that execute power. When Delusion went down, or their Ying player, that was pretty much it, you know, or I'm sorry, I think that was Natural. Yeah, when they lost Natural on the Ying, that was it. You know what I mean? That's just their execute.
that gets rid of the whole, like, when you see the Ying pick, you normally know they're going to try to do something faster paced. They know they need to. They know they need to interrupt the momentum that they have. And realistically, once she's dead, it's gone. You gotta find something else to do, and you gotta do it fast.
Yeah, their name of the game for their composition was displacement. I mean, Capital with Firebolts, the Smoke, the Yin Candelas. It was all about displacement, and it just was not there when they lost one of those players. And Capital used his bolts so early on, and they just had to pretty much kind of try to sneak in. And yeah, as you can see, that clearly didn't pay off.
Okay, so it seems like, obviously, Ohio State is doing a cache and CC extension. The Azami pick, I'm pretty sure Azami's playing in bedroom, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no, that's a pretty standard setup.
Yeah.
And, having that, having Descent on that, bedroom play, there's a lot of anchor points that you can set up a lot of those Kibos to be a real pain in the neck. But I'm more interested in how they're going to hold up on Cash, because right now it just looks like it's primarily Mustard who's going to be holding out over by Cash, and that can really offset Descent's damage as a zombie if they're able to get this wall open. It will get mute jammed very early on. They know that is something they're going for, trying to get that Cash control, but not having that wall open yet and no means to really get it open. It looks like they might be abandoning it, which I think is a huge mistake from IUPUI, but it does look like Thatcher is over by Jacuzzi. They're going to opt to try to get that wall open instead, but where's their hard breacher? It does look like they are going to be getting that wall open. I can see that now. They're going to get construction open. It does look like they still might try to get a pinch between Jacuzzi and Cash, but without that wall open, it's going to make things a little bit tricky here, I would say, as far as getting that push in.
I've started to notice in the comp picture that Grim is becoming a much more viable character. I like the Grim pick, and that is a pick.
Yep, speaking of Grim, he's dead. Naturally, going to get taken out by Mustard, trying to go for the hop and not going to pay out. We do see a little bit of that run out from Mustard, trying to peek out the bout. It's going to be a power position to contest a lot of control, as this is going to force IUPUI to funnel over by Logi and Jacuzzi, which is not very ideal in the slightest, especially if they're not able to take someone from the wall. We get a lot of damage. The sand going to go down thanks to Wrath. This could be the opening that's going to allow them to take more control, as Wrath does get a double kill, able to manage another. This could be what they need to get into Jacuzzi and start putting more pressure. This is going to force Mustard to possibly fall back here. Does go towards construction, but we will see Servant take Valorant Jacks, which is not going to be good if they want to get in. They're starting to get splintered up, all pretty much by the Valk at this point, and that doesn't leave them a lot to work with. A Servant takes a double kill as well. The peak's really coming through for OSU. We see the swing. Oh, Wrath to shut down Mustard, calling that aggressive play. There's the Candelas, gonna get ready to hop down, proceeds to do so now in Logi, but it's gonna have to get some kind of presence onto site with 15 seconds left on the board. Still has 2 Candelas on the board. It's gonna be a main player. Servant gonna be able to down Wrath all up to Delusion. Candela's still on board, but with a shotgun up close, and that is gonna take Delusion as OSU Scarlet picks up another round. Couldn't even get onto site.
And this is what I said about that momentum. Once they start getting it, they're gonna keep it. At this point, if they win the next round, as IUPUI myself, I would call it timeout. I want to freeze them as fast as possible. No pun intended with the two-brow pick, obviously.
Yeah, it's just IUPUI's execute is just really weak so far, and OSU Scarlet has been able to, start getting numbers before they really have that ideal setup that they want, and it's just the presence isn't quite there. As we saw a lot picks coming out over by Jacuzzi. That was huge for, getting in to Logi. That should have been the point at which, hold off, or you throw those Candelas, take Jacuzzi, and now you have an established sectional control. But that just didn't happen from IUPUI, and that gave OSU Scarlet an opening, to kind of even out those numbers dramatically, turn it towards their favor, and deny them that, opportunity to establish much needed control. And the rest is pretty much history from there, really.
Throughout that whole round, if you hadn't noticed, there was not a single attacker on that main stair window. And when you're attacking like that, that's kind of a necessary hold. You want to be able to hold that cross from, main stairs to anywhere. you need to be able to cut off that mute, because if there's somebody on the stairs, that mute was not going to be there that whole round.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, if you look at how they positioned, no one was really in a good spot with how they had their hold up from OSU Scarlet to contest that main position. That would have been a problem through and throughout from beginning to end of that round. And like you said, there was just nobody there. But moving on to CCTV and Cash, it does look like we're going to see a bit of a horizontal clear from Jacuzzi. There is a player by bedroom, is going to get spotted, a little bit of pre-fire, but that player's already back up all the way into bedroom. This could be an opportunity for IUPUI start getting some more of that control from horizontal to get a move on, because a minute's pretty much down and there's really not a lot of in-building presence other than Wrath over by Logi Closet, and they need to, you know, get a move on, because there's a lot of utility they got to break through, and they still have the whole issue over by main, of which they've really got no presence for, which I think is essentially a mistake here.
Yeah, and I mean, it looks like there isn't really a mean roamer anymore at this point. There's nobody really below, and I mean, I get that, but when you have Maestro, it kind of feels like you have to play below with a Nitro. It almost feels natural when you have the cameras on site, because I imagine that's where these Maestro cams are.
Yeah, for sure.
And they had the Nitro story.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It does look like they are going to be able to get those walls open. They've got a lot of pressure by construction very early on. All they need really is someone to kind of hold over by garage, maybe even sneak up. I mean, you still got Valve players. I think this is a perfect opportunity for someone to creep up and get a lot of damage. And you still have Mustard holding by garage Balk. I think there's a lot of opportunity here, and I think we're going to see just that with Wrath all the way below, down by lobby. This walk-up could be critical for IUPUI to pick up their first round, because OSU is kind of bucking in at the moment. They have given up the horizontal front by Jacuzzi pretty much for free. Wrath will try to get some shots from below. There are some live pings coming in thanks to those Grimbees, but not going to be able to take anyone out. 33 seconds left on the board. Going to have to start making a push. Oh, but Mustard will be able to take Celtic. Unfortunately, that push-up's going to have to start. Here comes Wrath, pushing up main stairs. We'll take I can't say that name. Wrath with the double kill, able to push up main, taking Oracular and Arno. That's going to be a huge push. Takes yet another as Desan takes a double kill. It's now all up to a 1v2 Wrath from main, and it's going to have to go for a plant at some point, try to push somebody out. One Raptors, one below. This is the opportunity to get that plant down, but with 3 seconds left, he's going to have to take a jump, but is not going to be able to get rid of Desan, who takes yet another player, shutting them down from their relatively one-sided push.
This is where I'd start to call this timeout, because at this point you're down 3-0 on your map. You have to stop this momentum in some way. You either got to call a timeout or you got to just show that you're still there in the play. And I mean, it looks like it's kind of just Wrath at the moment, kind of just putting the team on his back, and somebody needs to do that. But
yeah, I don't really get it. Like, you know what I mean? They got so much horizontal control. That should have been the point where you hold and you get presence elsewhere, whether it's getting that CCTV wall open or contesting garage or anything. You know, sure, Wrath did push up main stairs. That was the right move, but it wasn't capitalized on properly, and it came way too late. They should, if they knew they were gonna have, you know, this much control, there should have been at least 2 drones flooding first floor, flooding garage, seeing where they can, you know, further add to that pin, because that positions between main stairs and construction can do so much damage, you know, in pretty much limiting how CCTV and garage can really fight back, as they're kind of stuck in that corner, and eventually you're going to be able to flush out cash because of that, and just inevitably. Oh wow, look at
Arno with the pick with the peak on the DMR.
That is kind of gutsy, but
I feel as if he waited maybe a few seconds longer, he would have gotten that pick, but well, siege timing at its finest.
Yeah, playing very aggressively with the Nitro over by Secret. It does look like they're going to be going over by Stockroom, but does Arno know that's where they're going? I do see he still had that Nitro still held, but it does look like he might... Oh, nope, still holding by Secret Stairs, waiting for them to go for that initial entry. We will see Wrath start to push it up Stockroom. We'll get that hatch open very early on. We'll have some scans from Natural that's going to be able to spot Solus. They know there's one in Strip Club. That is a huge spot. Mustard is effectively stuck in with no impacts left on the board. She's stuck in a corner here and is either going to get flushed out or is going to have to take a raw fight. But
that's Wrath down.
Fights, yeah, Arno able to take Wrath. He did get the hatch open, so that is still a little bit of setup for them. But, I mean, losing that player is going to be a problem. Natural's going to ignore Mustard here. That's interesting. Gonna opt to not really push her here. I'm really surprised by IUPUI there. I would have think, you know where she is. She's stuck. Take that fight every time before she becomes a problem, especially when you're down a player. You need to get every number you can. And Mustard's sitting relatively safe right now. No pressure or anything. Oh, no. No way. Oh, okay. Desan does spot the drone. I was a little scared there that he was going to just sneak up. Tunnel. That was looking a little suspicious, but his head's still on a swivel there. I mean, OSU Scarlet's really sitting comfortably here. Oh,
wow.
With the
3 cap cans on that door.
Yikes.
You saw him earlier in prep phase, put 3 on that door. His other 2, I do not know where they are. Or wait,
yeah,
one?
could possibly down another. Either way, Balajack's trying to get a little bit of control from Tunnel, but again, IUPUI they don't really have any setup. And Mustard's still alive! 43 seconds, Natural. Push her or get someone with you. There is no reason that you should have this much time and you're still watching this player. Solus is getting so much free impact. That should not be happening. Yeah, at this point, just drop down, Natural. What can you do? You're running out of time. You don't have much of a setup. It's time to take that push and start getting some control. We'll see the swing. Oh, Arno going to be able to take Natural. Now it's all up to Bolajax and Celtic, who's still above. And there's Mustard starting to creep up. That's what I was talking about. It is a 1v5. It's all to Bolajax over by Tunnel. 5 seconds remaining, and he's not going to get any control. And a flawless round for OSU. What the heck just happened there? That was really rough for IUPUI, and I mean OSU, they just pretty much sat there looking pretty.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I would be screaming at my team to kill the Solus, because you cannot have that Solus sit there for all of prep phase and then all of main game phase. You can't. It's not allowed. It's honestly illegal.
Yeah, that was
defenders protect your bombs from being
that right there,
defused by
ladies and
attackers.
gentlemen, is Siege 101 on what not to do when you have a defender that is isolated. You take that fight every single freaking time because they have nowhere to go, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. That ping should have easily brought it back to a 4v4. And the amount of time that she stalled just by sitting there, it shouldn't have happened. At the very least, they should have had a drone actively watching her, and they should have played very aggressive to punish the fact they knew where she was, and she was doing absolutely nothing. The second they lost that player, throw a drone, set and forget, she has no impact, right? The fact that she had that much impact on what should have been a massive mistake is a no-go. In an Army, we call that a no-go. You failed. You failed the test. Restart day 0. No.
And I mean, in all honesty, once Wrath goes down, it kind of feels like the team falls apart. And I'm not even trying to even insult the team. It just looks like how that is. The moment Wrath goes down, it falls apart. It really does.
You get a very rapid downfall, unfortunately, and I'm gonna have to agree with you there. IUPUI just needs to really, lock it up here, because Clubhouse is a very 50-50 map, and I really cannot say that there's any reason that OSU Scarlet should be pulling a 6-0 here. I mean, especially with, their stat lines, prior to this matchup, it didn't look like they had a lot of heavy hitters when it came to gunfights, but that's all we're seeing right now is, OSU Scarlet really killing it. Every single one of their teammates is positive right now. Even Oracular, who had a 0.27 KD, 2-1, they're just able to take a lot of picks that I feel like just should not be happening with proper coordination from IUPUI. But it does look like we will get that jacuzzi wall opened very quickly on. That's a lot better, in my opinion, and they don't really have to worry about CCTV. I believe that is actually castled off. It is. That's going to help a lot I think that is a mistake from OSU Scarlet, getting a little too comfortable with how they're able to lock things up for free. But if they can get logistics control, IUPUI, this could be a major problem. There is some peak holes over by Garage, which could be a possible danger to Wrath here, but it doesn't look like OSU Scarlet's taking advantage of too much. Oh, but Arno will be able to take Wrath, and a double kill onto Delusion as well. Are we gonna see a run out from Ella? It does look like she's prepped for that, but I mean, they can get away with it. They just took Ying and Delusion and Wrath out. That's your Ashe and your Ying players. That's both of your entries gone. And they still have basically no in-building control. And it does look like it was that garage play from Arno. Bolajack's trying to take those quick peeks to get the sand out. Does get a little bit of tap damage. Not going to be able to secure that pick there. And it's just not looking too good. Oh, but Natural will get Oracular. Does hop down. Oh, but the wall bank from Arno. Very nice shots. When you drop down, you're quite predictable and quite vulnerable. And that's exactly what happened. We will see Mustard take Celtic, but not before the refrag from Balajax. Still has to get out from Jacuzzi. He knows there's one outside. Oh my gosh, Azami, what was that swing? Desan, what are you doing? You got one player outside. You can't let them do that. Bolajax is now onto site. He has the ability to plant. He does get concussed. I don't know what's going on. Oh, but here comes the push. Oh,
he had no idea.
Balajax. That's so unfortunate. Arno played that so patiently. I mean, that got a little scary, though. You know, OSU kind of playing with their food there. But, I mean, the time was not on his side, unfortunately, for Ace. And, you know, yeah, that was still very clearly their round. Unless that fight onto Arno went out. That would have been really bad.
And again, the reiteration of it's now 6 rounds deep and you're down 5-0 and you still haven't called a timeout. You still haven't iced. I've noticed a lot of teams don't use their timeouts correctly. And you really need to use them. You really, really need to use these timeouts, especially in this situation. You're down 5-0, you need to figure out what's going wrong right now. Because you need to be able to apply what's going wrong into the next map to make sure it goes right.
And the problem, too, is that this is not... If this was, like, a specific map, I could see, you know, not calling a timeout, just trying to get it through and get it over with, keep the momentum up, or keep the mental up. But this is a standardized map, right? The trio of standardization when it comes to your map plays. Oregon, Chalet, Clubhouse. This is a standardized map. And if you are getting badly hurt this bad on one of your standardized maps, you are in a lot of trouble. That should not be happening. It shouldn't be like that. And I mean, we're not seeing anything strat specific. This is very default plays from both teams. And yet we are seeing a very devastating, you know, differential between IUPUI and OSU. This is not what you want here, especially going into the second map.
Yeah, it almost feels like something just completely changed between last week and this week.
Yeah, it's
like,
very
I don't know if
boring.
it's... I don't know if maybe something personal happened, obviously that's something different, but regardless, we have 2 players on IUPUI that are currently 0-5, and there's no shade being thrown at them. But what's going on? Why are they 0-5? They need to evaluate what's going on, why they're dying with no kills, or why they're... I mean, obviously Grim has damage with the 2 assists, but why are we not winning gunfights? Why are we just not taking trades as much as we should be? We have Wrath 7-5. He had at least 2 triple kills already.
Yeah, exactly.
He's bringing these rounds. The reason the rounds are close are mostly because of Wrath.
Pretty much. We will see 2 picks go back to back. Oracular will get taken out, but Natural and Wrath now going down. That's 2 of their heavy hitters for the team. It's all up to Delusion, Celtic, and Bolajax, but Serpent will be able to take Bolajax as well. And a triple kill. Delusion will be able to take the Sando, but Serpent is on an absolute killing spree. The Nitro does go out. They know one's Raptors, and there comes Mustard to take him out from Garage, walking down. He had no idea there. Wow. Yeah, 0-6. Or 6-0. OSU Scarlet really killing it. I'm going to be honest, I was very scared by, you know, those stat lines for Ohio State. But you know what? I know historically how Ohio State can be and how they can really pop off when they need to. So, shutting my mouth. Shutting my mouth.
You have to take into account, it was a rival. It was Akron. And we both, and I think everybody knows in the collegiate pool, Akron is a very solid team.
Oh,
it was two
absolutely.
very solid teams. It happens. They have gone back and forth in the rivalry between doing good and doing bad. We've seen it back and forth always. It's just very common.
Oh, absolutely.
But whatever's going on with IUPUI is scary. I don't know how this would look for the rest of the season. I would be very scared in this position. I would spend a lot of time watching over this game. This game in particular, because of how bad it went. Or how bad it's going, rather. And seeing how they can improve. Because, again, this is Scarlet we're talking about. This is a very good team. This is a D1 team, or should be a D1 team. And they play at a very high caliber. Looking at this video overall would benefit any team dramatically.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot to take from what to do. I mean, it's fundamentally very sound for how OSU plays this. But I mean, it's just, you just cannot be, you know, not having these setups, you know, there's too many openings. And that's really what advice I would give is do not give a team as good as OSU so many openings to rotate, to reposition, to get out, you know what I mean? To be able to pinch you instead of the other way around. That's just not how that works. But we will see Oracular trying to get that kitchen hatch open. Maybe they can pull something off on basement here. I mean, you know, 2 minutes remaining. They're already getting set up here. It does look like IUPUI is playing this relatively passively. I'm not seeing a lot of aggressive movement. We got 3 already down by basement at the very least. And we do have natural over by construction, but, you know, playing very passively. I'm guessing paranoid about the vertical, but it hasn't really come. And with the vertical already full swing with Arno, I would say this is a good opportunity to, you know, to pop an impact and try to prevent this hatch from getting open. We'll see the line scan come through. They are going to try to clear out more of these players as they get these hatches open. 30 seconds. Oh, there's the impact. There it is. That's going to be some vertical contested thanks to this positioning here. That could pay off very well. Serving gonna go down thanks to Delusion. Arno trying to push Solus here. Tries to get a free fires. The pings will actually go out onto Solus. Waiting for that aggressive swing from Mustard. But with 1 minute and 12 seconds, it's on Arno to take this fight. But Sam can start to try to pinch her out. She's kind of stuck in the corner here. Goes for the pre-fire. Does take Arno out. Is he gonna be able to get line? Oh, a double kill as Natural takes Pooh out here and still alive from above. OSU's attack falling apart, still committing to possibly taking out Natural here. And there's another swing. Oracular gonna take heavy damage, not gonna be able to finish the pick off with 48 seconds, and Natural still kicking from above. Mustard, the only person going to be able to put any pressure onto site, but IUPUI sitting quite comfortably here. Oh, if Mustard or Natural peaks just a little bit, going to be able to take this. Oh, but there goes Oracular starting to walk up here. And there comes the swing, possibly trying to take another and gets it as Oracular goes down as well for a triple kill. The vertical hold, I'm telling you, it's so powerful. Actually, I think you kind of called it, if anything. Mustard gonna be looking to get that KD a little bit, try to take what could be a free pick, but misses those shots. Come on, you can't give him a 4K. Does she give a 4K? Oh. There it is! Natural gonna give them a flawless by taking yet another, finishing off Mustard. That is not how you want to start your attack, OSU.
This is maybe this is a wake-up call. Maybe Natural's waking up. That looked pretty nice to me.
That was crazy.
Realistically, I think at some point in that round, you kind of just gotta forget about that Solus. You feed her 2 kills, and yeah, she still exists, but you feed her 2 really bad kills. You can't do that. You either just gotta forget about her after a kill or 2, and kind of hope you can catch her off guard when she rotates, or you kind of just gotta attack site and just hope to God she doesn't just show up out of nowhere. But regardless, you can't be feeding Solus. You can't.
No, and the problem was she was at a power position, and she was just completely unchecked there. That was the big issue, you know? They put a lot of weight on this kitchen hold, similar to kind of how IUPUI did on their attack, you know, with Ying for that possible drop. And, you know, same as the first, it just doesn't work when you don't have, you know, vertical really accounted for. Although the difference with when IUPUI was on attack was, you know, they just didn't really have much of an execute. OSU Scarlet just got absolutely crushed on their setup. The second that Solus threw that impact down, you know, everything just went to hell. I mean, it was ridiculous. Like, Natural tore OSU Scarlet apart because they just weren't ready for that possibility, which is a very common possibility, so a little bit questionable. But
And I
will
want
start
to
to see. Yeah,
throughout that game, or throughout that round in particular, they had 3 nitros still available throughout the whole game, or the whole round. The whole round, 3 nitros. Didn't use a single one. That just shows the impact that Natural had in that round. And if Natural can stay consistent like this, maybe now I can see why they were doing so well. If they can just revolve around each other, Wrath and Natural wake up, they just start dropping 20. If that happens, then
Changing maps.
I don't know, it happens.
Yeah, it goes to show how elite these players are. They're going to see Natural and Wrath, 2 of the heavy hitters IUPUI, going to be committing to holding, you know, this more gunfight heavy position, not as heavily fortified, but OSU Scarlet's going to need to get that control regardless. They do have that line of sight open up. They've got Raptors player. If they can just isolate one of these players, whether it's main or Cash, that's their opening. But Ace is not going to be able to hop in, unfortunately, because of that main position. But we got Arno from below. Oh, what a shot! Natural taking another as well. Stan trying to get some kind of control here as those... Oh, nope, never mind. That's not going to happen. Sand going down as well. I'm telling you, it's these initial entry setups. Oh, no, Mustard. What a way to go down. Very unfortunate. Now it's up to Oracular. Will be able to take one. Goes for a very aggressive hop in, and he's already on site, but is he going to be able to take one? Looks over at Bajim, but that's not the way to look, as Belijax is right on his side, able to take Oracular out. Oh, jeez. That's a rough initial execute.
Looking at it, maybe it's just a defensive game. It seems like neither team really understands how to attack right now. Maybe the delay maybe screwed them up, I think. This delay really messed up this momentum with attacking and defending.
Yeah.
It's hopefully it ends the way I want it to end.
Yeah, no. Also, it turns out that it turns out that in the SI, actually, there was a 70% win rate for defense. So that could really be just what it is. It's a defense diff. I mean, look at just how easily each of the teams have been able to pick up these rounds so far. I mean, really the closest that it's gotten, in my opinion, I would say was very first round of defense. And over by Basement, and even that wasn't really that close. I mean, it's been pretty rough for both teams on attack. So we could see, surprisingly, a 6-6 if IUPUI is able to keep this up. I mean, obviously, what happened on their attack has not phased them whatsoever. I mean, look at how they've carried themselves up to this point. I mean, they had a flawless rounds. You know, that's not something you want to see, but it does look like we will have a shield. Arno going Monty. That could be a possible shift in balance, and really all it takes is one shift, you know, and pick up one round. But whether that actually happens remains to be the case, as Raptors is a very hard position to push as a shield player. You gotta have good coordination. Those will help with that problem.
Looking at it in the prep phase, we saw Delusion really using his head to make the Azamis. I don't know if you saw. He was doing a little bit of peeking into the garage walls. He was trying to connect those neurons and make the Azamis to work the way he wanted them to. I like the Azami plays. I'm really a big liker of Azami. I like the utility that she has. It makes the game fun for me.
Yeah, it's literally Zami's the Fortnite character. What is that? That's
yeah.
what I call her anyway.
That's a good analogy. Yeah. Wow. Okay, they're gonna give him the space.
Yeah, that's not what you want for OSU or for IUPUI.
Oh, Wrath goes down.
This is huge. Oh, but Servant's gonna go down. The Impact's gonna try to get a little bit of damage onto Arno. They do have a player below. Monty's pretty much stuck here. There's really no one supporting him anymore. Oh, but there's Mustard from below. Gonna be able to take one. Delusion looking to get aggressive here. Try to take out Monty. Takes out a lot of damage here. Trying to contest Balk. Oh, but the pistol whip from Arno Arno is playing the shield very well, and it is now a 2-4 situation. This is looking very good for OSU, but keep in mind that they still have to get through that funnel, which is always easier said than done, even in a 2v4 situation. Still very winnable. The Nitro goes out. Celtic not going to see any impact. Arno going for the plant. Not going to be able to push this because he got 2 Wrath players. Oh, he tries to run in, and Mustard catches him right as it happens. Jack trying to get aggressive here on the rest of the players. Takes a lot of damage. Smoke comes out, but he's going to get caught out from Breach over by the bow. And with that, it is now the first half with a sweeping victory for OSU, 7-2. That is a rough round differential. That is going to put IUPUI in a bit of a tinge here, unless they can have a similar sweep on Chalet.
Seeing the Arno pick with Monty, it's scary. When you see the aggressive Monty picks, and we saw how aggressive he obviously was, that's something to fear. He took the space he needed to take. He did his job perfect. He caught Natural off almost every time. He pulled players away, and then the delusion making him focus on the player below and then pistol whipping him. It was perfectly executed by Arno.
Oh yeah, and that change of pace, because that's what makes Shield so good, right? Is when you have picked up round after round on one half consistently, and everything's kind of getting into a rhythm. Shield are a rhythm breaker. I don't say shields are good because of meta this, meta that, blocking line of sight, blah 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 blah, corridors, all this crap. No. The reason shields are so strong is because if you start to get into a slump, shields change the pace in such a violent fashion. A lot of teams struggle, and that is often a break opportunity to, shift that pattern. And that's why, even though shields aren't played very often, they're still very useful because of that fact. They just give a shift that a lot of teams are not really comfortable with, because they can ultimately not be that strong a lot of the time.
The mental impact it has is something that is very underrated. When I see a blitz lock, I think, oh, this can go one of two ways, and then it just goes complete opposite. Like, looking at it, it's crazy to see statistically what shields can do, but also it's a very high risk, high reward. It really is.
Exactly. And when you're on a slump, you go for the high risk, high reward. You need something radically different. And no one changes the pace quite as extremely as a Blitz or a Monty, or even a Clash, if you're on defense. That, depending on the map, that's an option too. Not as often, but it can still be an option. But with that being said, that is match 1 of Clubhouse, with OSU Scarlet taking it 7-2. And with that, we will be moving on to map 2, which will be Chalet. So we're going to go on a quick break, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be right back and see you in just a second. Hang tight.
All right, welcome back from the break. We have a very short break today. Again, map 2, Chalet. What do we think?
I think with what we've seen so far, I'm kind of worried we're going to see a very polarized round differential yet again, because the way that OSU Scarlet conducted them on this attack, if they do that same thing for first floor, IUPUI is going to be in a metric ton of trouble. And we already see the Dekebi ban. That's going to give, you know, IUPUI a little bit of comfort on defense. But I mean, we saw, you know, what happened. It really was not enough, you know. And I'm really fearful for IUPUI because this is, again, another standardized map. And if OSU Scarlet can force that first floor, it's gonna be a reckoning, and not a good one, because when IUPUI were on attack, the one thing you need to be able to do is you need to flush out those players on first floor. Like, you cannot let them sit in those power positions unpunished. You need to make them as uncomfortable as possible, and IUPUI really does struggle with that, and that is something that OSU Scarlet knows and abuses to the fullest extent. And if that continues, oh, there's the Ying ban. I'm not surprised from OSU Scarlet, because IUPUI kind of depended on that for their attack more than OSU Scarlet, so that makes sense. Everything else pretty standardized, but I mean, it's gonna be a big problem for IUPUI if, you know, they really cannot get their, you know, defense in order. I mean, granted, they did have a good roll at first. They were taking 2 rounds in a row, but it doesn't really matter, you know, when you lose that 1 round. And I'm really scared for their first floor here, because I don't know if they're gonna get out on attack.
Round 1, we're seeing the Tuberal pick already. Like we were talking about, how impactful, like, how impactful he will be. Like, we called that we would see a Tuberal pick. Like, it's just, it's not even predictable. It just shows how good he is. It just shows how I think more teams should implement Tuberal into their team comps.
Absolutely. But I am gonna say one question, and this is gonna dictate whether this works for IUPUI or not. What is your plan for vertical? They reinforced Wine Hatch, so that already makes me worried that they're not going to commit to a heavy vertical presence. So I'm really wondering what their game plan for above is. Move around natural is up.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, what are we witnessing?
I really hope Celtic knows what he's doing here on his breach, because the second vertical comes in, or if he, you know, bubs up even a little bit, it's gonna be over. Because I mean, they got Arno on Thatch. Oh my gosh, Servo already hopping into Mudroom, pushing in very early on, already going down blue stairs. Oh my gosh, and he takes one. He takes one, despite very aggressively and predictably pushing it. Oh, but there's the ping. Servant knows that there is going to be one over by dining hallway, and that was Warden too. Wrath going down. That was a pick that just should not have happened there. That was very devastating. Delusion going to take a good amount of chip damage here. If they can get Lobby enough to get that vertical, that wall is going to be falling very early on. OSU Scarlet has a lot of potential against IUPUI. That pick should not have happened. That immediate control should not have happened. And now this Menace is pushing down blue stairs, showing no signs of stopping. Oh my gosh, there's no one watching really blue hole right now. Is he gonna see another? There's no way. So much pressure. Oh, the nitro, the dodge. No, the connector pick. Oh my gosh, what the heck, Servant? How does he get away with that? And Oracular's planting. What is going on IUPUI's defense? OSU Scarlet just steamrolling them after having that blue control. And now the diffuser down with the wall open. It's not looking good. Natural will be able to take some heavy damage. Now we're 1v4. Pistol Whip to finish the job, but gets shot off from vertical. What a disastrous round for IUPUI.
Yeah, Tosu really set the pace with this one. Servant getting right in the mud around 30 seconds into the round with that quick pick. Oh my god.
And they had a pinch. IUPUI had a perfect pinch there. They had Natural over by Kitchen. They had a player by Blue. There's no reason that should not have been refragged. You said it, you know, on Clubhouse about how IUPUI needs to work on the refrag. That should not have happened. That is criminal.
By attackers.
I do like that they're keeping the rotation around, that they went now to Barn Gaming. That's good, that they don't want to go back there. They need to keep this fresh, and they need to just keep trying something. They need to figure out what works. And I mean, it looks like we're looking at a rather basic hold, but I'm not seeing a Jaeger or a Wamai for the shields.
That's a very questionable play. I mean, it is deep, so it is kind of awkward, but they're going to have to play that window very aggressively. But I think OSU Scarlet knows better than to just blindly hop into wine. Actually, I might be wrong. Arno is on the blitz.
Are we seeing what I'm about to see?
Yeah, I think we are.
Uh-oh.
If they run into wine window and they play as aggressively, this could be really bad. Oh yeah, they're doing it. They're doing it. Get ready, boys. We might see, ladies and gentlemen, we might see a train wreck here, potentially, depending on what they do here. Oh,
this might be for Twitter.
Yeah, this might be a Twitter clip, folks. Get your clips ready, because I'm not sure what's going to be happening, but this is definitely looking a little scary. You know, IUPUI not having anything, no Wamais, no Jaegers, but OSU Scarlet with their very aggressive composition here.
I'm looking at, I think what they're trying to do is they're going to go right down main and then go,
oh, there it is.
Direct.
Yep, they're going to be pushing straight in. They've got the sense smoke going up. There's the sledge. Oh, a 2-pick from IUPUI. The flash comes out, trying to push out connector. Does manage to take him. It's now with 3v2. Blitz is onto site. Arno's on site, and we'll see a double kill from Desan. He's going to be able to walk down and potentially plant soon enough. 1 minute and 58 seconds, and they are already on site. Wrath gonna take a lot of damage with the quick piece. Comes in, able to take yet another for a double kill. It's all up to Arno. Gonna have to look for this pick here. Does manage to down Wrath, who was at very low HP, and Celtic, who was last seen basement, is gonna make their way up through main stairs. Gonna be the last person alive. Nitro still on the board. Gonna have to go through a chokehold. This could be a very scary situation, but I don't think he really knows. Oh, he does. He's gonna be able to get a little bit of tap damage on, bring him down to half HP, but he's gonna be able to close that gap even further. Tries to go possibly for Red, but he just pistol whips both of them. No way!
I think
the rush
we just witnessed
worked.
Twitter. We just witnessed Twitter.
We sure did. What on goodness gravy earth? What just happened? How,
like we said
how
about
does
that,
OSU Scarlet do it?
Like we said about the shield pick, like that's a high risk, high reward pick. And I mean, Arno is an aggressive player. And being an aggressive shield player is something that most players, if not all, fear.
Defenders, protect your
if you see a blitz running at you, your instinct isn't to really to fight it at first until you know you can. But looking at that, there's nothing you can fight. You can't fight that. You really just have to outgun them or get the trade or something. You have to force something there. And it looks like they were trying to force trades, and they're doing really good with the trades. But Arno just proved that he's capable of doing what he needs to do to get the job done.
Yeah, I mean, absolute menace shield player. That was a very well played for them. Because I mean, the initial execute did not actually go favorably for OSU Scarlet. But I mean, despite that, he was able to take that out-of-pocket positioning that is so awkward for players, because usually you presume that you have that control for the most part, and for it to just fall apart that fast, even with that many players lost, was still something IUPUI just could not handle. And I think that really, whoa, what is this? He's waiting for the rip. Oh, this could be bad. This could be really bad for OSU. I like this. Oh my gosh, is that gonna land?
Oh,
what a nitro! Goodbye.
That gets rid of their main hard breacher. Luckily, Buck's still bringing hard breaches, but still, that gets rid of Habana.
What an amazing nitro! Literally waited so patiently. Ooh, Desan with an entry gonna be able to take Delusion, but I mean, so patient, waiting for that repel to throw that nitro, and I mean, there's nothing they can do to get out. Oh,
the timing!
The timing! Oh, but Natural's gonna give his position away with the shots. Right? Okay, Arno gonna take Wrath. Here comes the swing. Oh, but Natural will take it onto Desan. He could have had an opportunity there, but he barely missed them. We will see some window peaks here, trying to get that refrag. Natural's gonna be down to low HP, but will be able to get out, as there's not much verticality other than from the Solarium side of sight. Oracular will be able to take Natural for that refrag eventually, but it is a 3v2. IUPUI down one. Arno looking for one. Spots one by the head height angle. Nitro goes out. Not going to get much damage. advantage out here. Already some direct side pressure. We're 1 minute and 32 seconds, but unfortunately, there's really not much for vertical other than Arno, and he's already down on first floor, so it does look like they're going to have to commit to this horizontal. But IUPUI, both of them are pretty much directly on site from what I can tell, and that can be a serious problem here for them, you know, being kind of stuck like this.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like, oh wow, Ohio State really realized that they had the man advantage, and, oh, that was a trade! Oh my god. Okay, but still, they realized that they had the man advantage and realized that they still had 1 minute and 30 left, and they really used that time correctly. Oracular was droning, I'm pretty sure. That's why they weren't really making much noise, weren't moving. He had,
I'm gonna see the shot coming out between the ball. But there's the push around from Kitchen, thanks to Arno. Valajax kind of stuck with that SMG-11 taking a long shot. He's quite vulnerable if you can't get that pick, unfortunately. But, I mean, yeah, that was just really... I mean, the way OSU Scarlet is pushing so aggressively, like, IUPUI is slow to adapt, and Ohio State abuses that so well. Even with a person disadvantage, you know, the way that they take one, carry a momentum before IUPUI has that ability to adapt. It's what's causing this consistent steamroll. It's momentum, and it is the fact that every time they are positionally where, you know, IUPUI is not ready. It's not just the fact that they are, you know, playing aggressively. It's not the fact that they are abusing their momentum. It's also just the fact that they are able to really, you know, cut off IUPUI, and it's that ability to do so and be in a place where IUPUI is not really ready to take on, you know, such a position at various points in the round that is giving them these violent turnarounds.
We're seeing a blitz switch and a Maru pick from Oracular. What is this?
Oh no, here we go again. Here we go again. And everything that we just brought up is about to happen again. Holy
Maru
crap.
with the shotgun, and he's going aggressive. Oracular is ready to start shooting. He knows exactly what he wants to do, and he's going to do it.
She is inspired by what Servant did on the first round. It looks like we're going to see just that. We did see the lobby open, possibly a spawn. Oh, here we go. I don't think they're really ready for this. This could get very ugly. They do have a player in wine, but the rest are over by blue. If they push this fast enough, it's going to be bad. Here we go. There's the call. And here's the push. Arno going to go down thanks to Delusion. That's going to be huge. Taking out Arno there. But Mustard going to be able to take another. And they already immediately have side control. We're going to see the shotgun of Oracular. Mustard able to take a double kill. Already down to a 4v2. The fast push proving too much for IUPUI as they crumble under the pressure over in Blue Hall. Desan going for the plant with 2 minutes remaining. And we'll see Servant cut off Natural holding over by Snowmobile. And now the flashes come out. Delusion gonna get pushed out by Mustard. It's that they're too fast. They are too fast. They're like Sonic over here, just blitzing in, and IUPUI just cannot handle it.
What we are witnessing is this is what happens when we let Ohio State get their map. Chalet is their map. We are witnessing execution, perfect execution. It looks beautiful when you look at it. It is just art. And this is what happens when you give a team their map. Like, you can't let this happen. You have to figure out something. And they're not even roaming. They have no roam presence. That is a big issue on Chalet, especially with how they've attacked the past 4 rounds. They're not really roam clearing as much. Other than that one round with Natural sitting upstairs as Mozzie. The roam clear hasn't been there. They've been doing a lot of a lot of direct attacks. Seems we're getting a little bit of goofball moments from our players here.
Right there, getting jiggy too. Did you see that? Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it's just like you said, that roam is not really adding the pressure that needs to be there, and it's just, you know, honestly, and here's the thing that's kind of irking me. If you know that you struggle with these aggressive pushes this much, why aren't you bringing cap cans? Why aren't you bringing Malusis? We do see Delusion on the Frost, but I'm gonna be honest, with how they truck forward, even with a player down, I don't think that's gonna really do anything.
And
because that's,
yeah. Yeah, this late into the game as well. Not even the game in this game in particular, but this late into Rainbow Six Siege, it is almost second nature to look down and shoot at the floor. It is very natural for me personally. I imagine it's natural for a lot of other players to see that and be like, okay, I'm just gonna automatically do this. I'm gonna autopilot shooting that. Wow.
Yeah. Back-to-back trade, but still no library control yet. They're still gonna have to fight for that. They do have Arno on that Capital, and fortunately it doesn't look like there's a Wamai, so they are going to be able to push this out. Natural will start to fall back towards the bow. Can't shoot a default, Cam. Stand still, take your time, bro. You got this. But anyway, it does look like they're going to get a lot of control, and that's going to be thanks to that Brava drone. Those drones can be really useful. I feel it's still very underrated. Oh, we will start to spot each other over by Blue Hall. Arno trying to get a little bit of damage onto that Blue Hall player. Not going to be able to really get much there. Natural looking for that bow player who's playing this pretty safe here, not overexposing themselves. 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining, and they have an opening to get that library control, and we will see Arno take the initiative to establish that control as they start to get pressure onto Blue Hall. There's going to be someone holding there. Wrath will go down thanks to our angle hold. The ping comes down, and Natural's going to take a lot of damage, and Desand to finish the job as well for a refrag from Servan. I believe it was a refrag, I might be mistaken. But either way, now down to a 4v2 with Celtic and Bolajax. The last one remaining was one still on, or still above, and another one over by Barstock. This is not really good positioning. They gotta start taking initiative, get aggressive. Celtic will do just that. Bolajax gonna take a lot of damage. We will see Celtic take Arno down, but Bolajax will go down in the process. Celtic gonna get a double kill here from above. Still going to be a problem point for them as there's now 2 players remaining. Oh, and Desand gets isolated from the bow for a triple kill. Celtic on a roll here as it's all up to Mustard, and he tries to sneak in from Library. Does he know? Oh, he doesn't know. Celtic gets sneaked up on by Mustard, giving Ohio State a very scarily close round as we are now on round 6 with OSU yet to lose a single round.
Looking at these teams, it seems there's not a lot of adaptability from IUPUI. I've almost seen every single round a Lion pick, and we haven't seen the one counter to Lion, or to Lion. Vigil, we haven't seen them at all. Again, with Servan taking Lion. Vigil is, in my opinion, a very strong character at the moment. It feels, especially against OSU, because of how drone heavy they are, with how Legion heavy, or not Legion, Lion heavy they are. It almost seems like Vigil should just happen. It should just come around naturally.
Yeah, and the thing that bothers me as well, you know, and you say Vigil, and that is a good counter typically, but the problem is the roamers on IUPUI are not having the aggression that they need for Vigil to really, you know, effectively pay off. There just needs to be a little bit more pressure when they enter the building and kind of let off on that initial entry, because Ohio State's strong points are, you know, their initial entry and pretty much their execute. Their setup, I feel like, is the biggest potential for weakness in Ohio State. I mean, we saw that with Celtic, able to get a lot of impact on their setup prior to trying to get an execute going, forcing a pick that could have easily been around for IUPUI. And that's where I think, you know, you need to have that aggressive Vigil. Hold off, wait for them to get in the building, wait for them to start getting comfortable, trying to set up, and then hit them where it hurts, and not give them any information as to where you are. But the roam presence is not really timed correctly for IUPUI, so it doesn't really work here. And it does look like we're going to get a bit of a Solarium bout push here. We are going to see some due diligence from OSU Scarlet against a run out, but I feel like IUPUI is not going to be doing anything like that. I don't think they're really feeling it right now, and that could be a show of possible hampered mental. We will see the Lion scan come out. Doesn't look like it's going to really tag anyone, but we will see Wrath start to creep up here, try to contest Solarium, and will be able to take Arno, though. The flashes come out. Oh,
the instant
but
trade
that came a little too fast there. Yep.
And this goes back to what you were saying with the no runouts, the mental being down. Again, you gotta use the timeouts. Like, we haven't seen anything. I would be using as much as I can. Why?
Desand? What the Desand? Hello?
Did his keyboard disconnect?
Okay. We're gonna move on. We're gonna swiftly move on.
Smoke bug? Oh.
Smoke bug.
Okay.
Thanks, Rainbow Six Siege. I can believe that. You know, I'm gonna give him a pass to stand a pass because I can 100% believe that. But either way, we're gonna see Mustard start to plant over from bedroom. They still have the repel by double window, which is gonna be a massive problem. And they will start to creep up, start to get more control, retake that space. But the tap from Mustard to take Celtic. Now it's all up to Delusion. Got a very deadly cross, and there it is with Oracular to cut off Delusion for them to win every attack round.
The three-man cross there is, you just can't fight that. At that point, that late into it, you know that round is over. Unless he had a few barricades to somehow cut off line or cut off an access way, there's nothing he can really do.
No, yeah, that was a very unfortunate situation for them. And, well, here we are. I mean, a very deadly sweep. And it's now all up to IUPUI to get 6 attack rounds in a row. And like I said, I'm really scared of their first floor. I'm really worried about their first floor. I don't blame them for going basement. They need a win. They need a win. But I'm going to be honest. When first floor comes around and OSU Scarlet gets more familiar with how IUPUI likes to play Chalet, it's going to make playing first floor that much, or I'm sorry, it's going to be that much more difficult, you know, wait, what am I saying? OSU Scarlet is on defense, but either way, you know, IUPUI is going to have to, you know, really figure out, you know, what to do for first floor. But once OSU Scarlet learns how IUPUI likes to push, how they like to attack, how they, you know, once they figure out that strategy, I mean, it's gonna make first floor a train wreck, you know? I would probably take that as soon as possible, but I can get, trying to get more information. Whoa, Servant, that's aggressive. Is anyone pushing that way, though? I don't think so. Anyone is, but that is really aggressive. Holy moly. I haven't seen that run out in a minute.
And looking at the lineup, for defense, the lineup is rather default. We see the Malusi pick, we see the Azami, the obvious Mira pick. Wow, and he gets a pick on natural. Wow, that is a very good pick.
Loss.
That is one of the entries.
And with Wrath being the only other one, who's all alone with no one to refrag? I mean, there is Brava droning for her, so I will give them that, but I mean, come on.
Oh, Servant getting another pick on both entries. That is both entries down to start the round.
Yikes. This is not looking... Wait, did they not reinforce basement? You know what? I'm not even going to question it.
So, I noticed that Ohio State, they weren't really worried about the wall. If you look at their picks, they're very based around the Mira. And with that, there's no real care for it. They know they have nitros, they have a nitro. They had impacts.
Yeah, and I've seen that play before. It's definitely not bad. It's just I don't really see that very often. That's actually not standard at all.
That's very, very rare.
And I give them respect to that because that allows them to divert. Oh, Mustard. Oh, that was a very important pick.
Good bait. What a bait.
Celtic's gonna take a good amount of damage. The nitro go out. That's the push. Gonna be able to get into trophy. Oh no, but the holes. Oh, there's Celtic gonna be able to take out Oracular there. They know this one stuck over in West Main. Mustard gonna be able to take one. Is Luge gonna get this fight? Does not, as OSU Scarlet finishes it out for a perfect 7-0. That is one heck of a start for Ohio State. That is a huge round differential. I mean, we had 5 on the first, 7 on the second. Ohio State now dominating as they typically do. Very good try for IUPUI, but Ohio State's attack is just, and their aggression is way too violent for them to handle.
And looking at it, they proved with this game that they are still there. They proved that they are still the Ohio State we saw last year and years before. This game alone just showed that they can still fight and are willing to fight.
Oh yeah. I can't wait to see them inevitably fight Akron again. There's no way that they don't do that again. And when that happens, boy, is that going to be a fight, because if they can aggress like that, I think Akron is going to be in a run for their money. That was very intense. You know, the kind of momentum that OSU Scarlet had, that was extremely violent. And that is exactly how you want to attack. I mean, even their defense, they took a lot of initiative against IUPUI. I mean, that's really what you have to do. You can't be scared. Like, you have to take a lot of these fights. You have to pinch off. And there's, I know that, you know, there's a lot of overthinking on what's the right thing to do, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to be honest, as far as, you know, Collegiate League, for the most part, until you get into like the upper echelons, as long as you're confident, communicate and coordinate with your team, and you full send it, you're gonna get a lot of success out of it on attack. You'd be surprised how much BS you can get away with on attack. I mean, outright criminal stuff. And I think we saw a good amount of that from Ohio State University. But I think it's also just a matter of, you know, Ohio State, they've got a lot of experience on their hands and a lot of heavy hitters. So, I mean, that's a big part of it, too.
Yeah, looking at the lineup overall, I mean, you've got Arno. He is a veteran collegiate player. And that brings a lot. That shows a lot. And it shows that he really needs to take the lead. And he did. And look what happened. It worked. It went amazing. It went as planned. They did exactly what they needed to do. And realistically, I don't know how to word this. It's hard to word this because I don't know what I really want to say. But realistically, this wasn't going to be a... Oh my god. Okay. This is hard to word.
You can do it.
I can. I'm going to try. Okay. So, when you're just swinging, these players have high fire rates. Sorry. That was the word I was trying to say. Fire rate. Like, we had Legion, we had Miras, we had Melusi at the MP5. These guns are high fire rates, and they're just not swinging. Like you were referring to the swing. Swing or be swung. And you have to swing with these fire rate guns. You have to catch them off guard. Like, you can literally just lock Ash with R4C, and that alone will probably scare somebody. Because you hear that high fire rate, and let's say it's, I don't know, a Cade with AUG. A Cade and AUG versus Ash. Ash should win that fight. Hands
that's
down.
a terrifying situation to be in. Absolutely. And I mean, those are just fights that need to be taken that just didn't happen. But with that being said, coming up next, we're going to have our interview with Ohio State University. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's Ohio State. So stay tuned for that, and we'll have our closing thoughts and finish out the night. We'll see you guys in just a sec.
Nice. Connector.
He's still stuck there. Nice above you. You kill this guy.
Yep, you got him. Alright, Men's fireplace. He's halfway up now. Halfway up, like. No.
Bathroom dead. I'm in bathroom.
I'm gonna keep holding fire.
Captain dead.
Main. Oh my god, one hatch.
Two connection.
Main stairs, bottom main.
What?
See more find one but more communication, knowing Mamba's there, taking
One player left, and he gets taken out to the I love more.
I got
Cancel you.
Yo, just
Below manages to get him, and they drop down randomly.
I got the streets so loud, no I can't stop, no I can't stop, no I can't stop. I got the streets so loud, no I can't stop, no I can't stop, no I can't stop. I got the streets so loud, no I can't stop, no I can't stop, no I can't stop. I got the streets so loud, no I can't stop, no I can't stop, no I can't stop. So loud, no I can't stop, no I can't stop. No I can't stop.
We can probably just go for plan. Nice. Connector.
He's still stuck there. Nice. Above you. You kill this guy.
Yep, you got him. Alright, Menace fireplace. He's halfway up now. Halfway up, like. No.
Bathroom dead. I'm in bathroom.
I'm gonna keep holding fire.
Captain dead.
Main.
Oh my god, one hatch.
Two connection.
Main stairs, bottom main.
What?
See more find one but more communication, knowing Mamba's there, taking.
One player left, and he gets taken out to the head. I love more.
All right, and we are back, everybody. My camera has disappeared. Oh, there we go. I am here with Servin from Ohio State University. Firstly, I want to say congratulate on that absolutely violent win. That was very aggressive. So naturally, my first question that I'm going to ask, and I think we'll kind of bounce off from there, is what was your expectations going into this match? Did you expect it to kind of sweep like this, especially on two very standardized maps? I know, Ohio State obviously is a very, aggressive and big behemoth in this league, but I mean, were you expecting possibly anything different, or was this about where you wanted to go?
Going into it, I knew we were probably gonna always win from the start. Obviously, recently we've been experiencing a couple issues within our team play. Well, we lost to Akron pretty badly, week 1. So going into this, we wanted to bounce back, make sure they know how good these felt. Just kind of like work on some things mid-game and kind of bounce back as a team and be where we should be.
Yeah, no, then that makes sense because we were looking at the stats and I was very shocked by, the placement stat lineup, and I was wondering like, what the heck happened? Was there like a major roster change? But I mean, shown from this match, it's the same classic Ohio State, just some hiccups. So that makes a bit more sense. Micah?
Looking at the games, when you decide your characters, what's that thought behind the shield picks? I want to know your process behind these shield picks. Like, what were you thinking when you had Arno pick Monty on Clubhouse?
So Arno really wasn't shooting back, so we figured honestly just free intel. Well, obviously we thought we were a way better team shooters wise. Wrath.Reven, he's really good. So they're really and Natural's pretty good too. So they really didn't know they only had 2 good shooters. So like just having that one person on intel and just walk behind them and just kind of like take the gunfights against them, we knew we would win. So it's kind of like instead of being too meticulous with the rounds and doing too much, just kind of take gunfights.
Yeah, we commented on the shields, and me and Piercing spoke about it a lot. We liked the reward of the shields, but we also spoke about the risk. Now, did you expect him to survive as long as he did? Did you expect him to die? Like, what did you expect to trade? What did you think about that?
Arno's played Monty a good deal, so we've done, especially on Clubhouse, we love doing the Monty takes. I think Monty's just thrives on Clubhouse, so we were expecting a lot of trades. We've been a team together for a while now, so we're really good at playing off of each other. Obviously not TKing the Monty. It's little small hiccups in between rounds that would happen like that. So expecting trades and really just like really looking for the intel, knowing when we can take site, knowing when we can try to go for an execute, where we can get picks off of. So
all right.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And then I just have a little small question. I noticed that on one of the last few rounds on your defense, you had garage not reinforced, and you had some holes, or there was some holes shot out on the bottom, and you had a mirror playing towards back. Was that an intentional setup that you guys actually do, or was that just kind of let him open that up, take some fights, get it done, go home? What was that about? I don't usually see that not reinforced.
Yeah, so we've been trying a lot of new things recently while we've been trying to work things out, change it up, something, see what works. So with the games been being streamed on Twitch, watching the pro teams play and stuff like that, we've been trying to cock up some new strats, and we just kind of seen, like, honestly, if they're going to get main wall anyways, might as well just give it to them. So it's kind of have a mirror, we'll leave it soft. And a lot of teams that like newer teams and like, I guess I don't want to say worse teams, but a lot of teams like to do trench pushes. So kind of like opening those walls, build a lot of pressure. Don't let them just walk in. So yeah.
Yeah. And I have a follow-up. When you're attacking, you're fast-paced. How coordinated is your fast pace? Because we saw you 30 seconds into the attacking round rush down mud, and we were just blown away by the fact that you killed Warden that fast. We were genuinely just like, what is happening? We don't know how you did it. We were still talking about the previous game.
Yeah, so usually we all go into each attack round with like an initial plan, but I always try to get my drone set up in a good power position, and I got a good drone in blue. So just having someone watch it and just know that I could instantly run into blue, take instant map control, and just kind of have a good cutoff with them holding kitchen and obviously getting the pick on Warden. So if I see plays like that, I'm going to take them. I'm going to take the map and take the space, and obviously it worked out in my favor. I got a pick, so.
You've got multiple picks, if I must say.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite a few. We also saw the immediate hop in from mud and the walk down all the way to blue. Is that just a common play, or is it just, first round, let's just play uber aggressive and see where it goes? Because I was really not ready for that hop in. I mean, I knew Finka, she has potential to be really aggressive with her stim charge, but I was not ready for that push down for blue, and honestly, I feel like there was a lot of potential for that to have gone wrong with the positioning, knowing what we know now. So, what were your thoughts on that, and where does that stand in your standard playbook?
I think it definitely has a little bit of risk, but I think the risk to reward pays out a lot in my favor. And a lot of the times when I do it, it works out well. My goal is at least to get one pick. Worst case scenario, like I know it's a good play because a lot of teams like to hold kitchen and even honestly room upstairs of times. So I know there's not too many people on site. I think they were trying to bandit trick anyway, so that means bandit was probably focused on the primary wall. If I kill warden, I can just kind of walk down on bandit, and that's another free pick. And the people above the hatch just kind of like panic and rush, and then just all drop hatch, and we basically just take full map control based off them panicking and not knowing what to do in the situation.
Yeah. So a call on on standard plays, and I mean, like you said, you called it perfectly. You had Tubarao, I believe that was natural over by kitchen, and you had another player by blue stairs. You had, of course, bandit tricking by the wall. So I mean, pretty much in its entirety, yeah, the way you called it is exactly how it played out. It's it's those standardized maps. But you mentioned a little bit about trying different things. Were you guys trying to play less often picked maps in your map bans? Because you guys had two pretty standard maps, Clubhouse and Chalet. Was that just how it ended up, unfortunately, or were you guys, just wanted to get those maps in particular? What was that about?
I think for us, like I said, we've been a team for a while. We obviously went through many cycles of which maps are our favorites. So I think realistically, we can play almost all the maps in the map pool. It's more of a matter of, do we get a little rusty? We need to work on it, bring it back into the map pool, make sure we're up to date on the meta, map changes, the ops change the game every so often. So make sure that what we're doing still works. And, if we don't play the map for a while, we just want to get our feet back in the water and make sure we're doing what we're doing.
So kind of like cycling. Okay, no,
Yeah.
I got you. Just checking everything out, making sure everything's still clean. Yeah, no, I remember that back when I played for MWR6 myself, and that was something we tended to do. We would play less popular maps, or we would play maps that are popular. It's just more of a matter of what hasn't been touched for a while. But Micah, do you have any more questions for Servin?
Just one last one. When you look at Chalet, you guys obviously had confidence, and you guys came out swinging to begin with. Just to start the game, you guys came out swinging. How do you guys feel now after this, even after the after game? All that aside, and regardless, it's obviously a rivalry. How do you feel now that you prove that you're still here and you're still fighting, you're swinging?
Honestly, like after today's win, I'm just glad that compared to week 1 in Akron, we were really struggling as a team, weren't really getting along very well, playing together. So I'm just kind of glad we could take this game as like a warm up, or get back into the swing of things, actually work on the things we need to work on, and it worked out, and we dominated the other team. So
oh yeah, and it clearly showed, and this is no offense to IUPUI, but it's just you guys came out wanting to win. You guys wanted it and you got it. It was phenomenal to watch, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, it was quite the place. Well, in that case, Micah, I think that's all that I've got for Servin. Servin, thank you for taking the time to interview with us. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing Ohio State University play quite a bit more down the line in the upper echelons, which I think we'll likely see that very soon.
We're getting a dub in Midwest.
Yeah, good luck as we look forward to seeing that, and we look forward to that infamous matchup against Akron. We're sure it'll show up eventually, and we'll be watching when that happens.
We look forward to seeing you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Shelly.
Take care. You did not just call me Shelly. Okay. We're done. This is over. This is over.
Cut it.
Yeah, cut.